This
started?
conference will now be recorded.
All set?
Yes.
All right. Happy Thursday, October 27th. We'll do the roll call for the COIDA board.
Jeff Joyner,
Here.
David Rowley,
Here.
Jeff Lord,
Here.
Craig Gelbman,
Here.
Tom Mayo,
Here.
Tricia Kennedy is absent, Cheryl Robinson is absent, Anthony Marietta,
Here.
James Stewart.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. We'll go right into approval of the meeting minutes, as I'll defer my chair remarks for in the interest of time. You have the minutes from the August 25th and the October 13th board meetings. Any questions, comments, concerns, or changes? If not, I get a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We have the report of the Audit and Finance Committee and Treasurer. Jeff?
We had all the minutes as well, and let those stand for the report. Take any questions if there are any.
No questions? Can we get a motion to approve the minutes?
So
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Bills and communications. You want to go through those?
Most are normal operating expenses. There is one invoice from Keystone Engineers for the Richfield Springs construction bid documents. You'll see that on there. Also, Paper Kite started their marketing campaign, so there is a large invoice from them for $16,000. On the deposit side, it's mostly rent, and we also got the county's appropriation of $75,000 in the last 2 weeks. So,
how many months is the paper kite?
how many months? Like how many months is the campaign running?
Finally have the invoice.
So that's the first invoice for the new phase of the marketing campaign, which they should be starting in November 1st.
In that phase, the length of time where the money's committed for, in other words, is that for the whole campaign?
Yes,
Which runs a year?
yes. Well, yeah.
Any other questions or anything with bills or communications? If not, can I get a motion to approve and pay the bills? Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Report of the project committee. I know Cheryl's not here.
At the minutes.
Yeah. So you all, if you had the minutes to review, any changes, questions, or comments? If not, get a motion to approve the projects committee minutes. Thank you. Second. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. All right, new and unfinished business. Jody, we'll turn it over. Most of it is regarding the budget.
Okay, everybody should have a copy of the 2023 proposed budget for the IPA. The one that should be in the package, the one with arrows on it.
Yeah, there's two. I put both in there.
So I just kind of want to go over the major changes. On the revenue side, we budgeted an additional $12,000 in ARC funds. So our budget is supposed to be paying us roughly $1,000 a month to use our one training room as our innovation acceleration center. We are looking to bring back the chamber, so we added about $12,000 for them. The internet.
Is that a done deal, or
Sorry?
is that a done deal?
It's a done deal, except for right now, we are still leasing the room to our congressman through January, so nobody's using the room, but they're sending us checks.
Correct.
So he's assuming either moving in January or.
Is he no longer representing us, whether he wins, loses, or draws? He's in a different district.
Right.
It's possible that the new whoever is elected, that will reach out to us to take.
But we still have a closet, don't we?
Yeah, yeah, we
There we
do.
go.
In addition to that, we have a gentleman, James, who's leasing space from us from the International Food Policy Research Institute. I budgeted a full year in, but he's probably going to make a determination by the end of the year whether he's going to do this.
It's 6 months leave, yeah.
I've also budgeted about $10,000 for this possible pilot project. We do have several solar projects that are in contact with us.
that include the hardwood potential or not?
I've written in law
That's interesting, yeah, okay.
after all the work they did.
Yeah.
We did budget $200,000 on the second page for the county ARPA monies, that were approved by the county board for our agency. There was a determination by the consultant that says we had lost roughly $200,000 when the pandemic hit, mainly because we didn't sell that property to a long meat processing facility because they backed away from doing anything. When the pandemic hit, that it could be considered miscellaneous revenue for us, offset the losses that we had. Yes. We did budget $5,000 in program income and administration costs from IOX's grant. And we budgeted $44,000 from ARC that would go to paying for our marketing innovation center. On the expense side, we did include the salary in here, $44,000. Director, we've also added an additional part-time administration, roughly 4 hours a day, to relieve Megan of some of her clerical duties, but she can do additional grant work and additional administration. And at the request this year, we added an additional 5% on the top of the total in case there's ever any cost of living increase. We've also added an additional $3,000 to Department of Judas to provide additional help for EDA. And that's really the change. We did have a meeting yesterday with our insurance agent. Expecting our insurance costs to go up by 4%. So we may want to adjust that. That's kind of the changes. And again, as our state controller, person who audited us for 2 years, it's just the budget.
Any questions? Additional comments?
So the marketing for Paper Kite stays, and this person will run that marketing through Paper Kite?
Yes. They're going to actually help oversee it.
Well, the responsibilities for this person will include having a coordinated effort to follow up on inquiries that come in. We currently not happening, or we're not tracking it, or we don't know. I thought the marketing person was for the Innovation Center, and Paper Kite is our identity and our marketing. Yeah, IDA.
The Paper Kite, there's 2 campaigns that Paper Kite is working on. One is a downstate lifestyle that basically targets Connecticut, Long Island, New York, New Jersey. It says, what a great place we have up here if you want to move up, find a house to live. And this is a wonderful place to do a home business. The second is the business. We decided that we weren't really seeing any hits from downstate. So with the concept of the Innovation Center, it was really saying, let's target entrepreneurs in the Binghamton area, the Albany area, the Utica area, the Syracuse area, and see if we can get their interest in working with customer products and IOX's startup entrepreneurial. So that's the new campaign that's being done on the business side. The task for the Innovation Center director / marketing would be to run that section of it, coordinate with the colleges, both Hartwick and SUNY have indicated that they really want to start their own with us and having a space downtown that would have their innovation centers as well. So that person would work with the colleges, Customer Electronics, IOX's, and Small Business Development Center. In addition to that, we really lack an ability right now to spend a lot of time on social media. We have no social media, it's almost not existent. So that this person would also develop that for us. So that businesses in our county as well as a lot of town supervisors don't know it. But it's a way of getting out a word of what happens if you don't have presence on it. Person will also be responsible for all the press releases. Right now, we haven't even issued a press release on the grant that we got. It just, there's only so many hours in the day to do that. And so that person will be in charge of that publicity as well. Does that sort of make sense?
Well,
And the other thing.
in a very foggy way, yes.
The other thing.
My only concern,
This person would also work with our two realtors. They would coordinate what work with Richard Ellis is doing, as well as we did have a meeting with a gentleman from Pyramid to give you an introduction. And he's looking to do some marketing with this, so that this person would actually work with them on marketing on the sites. Both the really are the business park. Hopefully, eventually next year, Richfield Springs Industrial Park. Get those sites out.
I'm concerned about specific focus, responsibility, commitment of time. With all that going on, you do everything, you don't do anything. So with all that to do, it's easy for them to get lost chasing rabbit holes, prioritizing how they spend their time. It would be a challenge for the employee. You know, which master am I serving today? A lot of people they're working with. And you know, I think we need to have a conversation about what's committed. You know, if they only, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, if they only talk to the person yelling the loudest, then we could easily be directing our efforts not on what we want. And it's tough on the employee. I think you got a plate full of stuff. And if we find a diligent person who can prioritize well and really produce, it'll work, but it has potential to be busy doing stuff and not working on things and getting nothing done. I mean, it's the next step, but I'm just a word of caution on the sound and fury signifying nothing. I need results. See, that makes any sense? It's a lot of things on the plate.
And right now, a lot of those things aren't getting done.
Well, no, I understand. And this is a step, but to be fair to the employee, we need to be clear what the priorities are working on.
The funds that we got granted to us to hire this person, did they come with any restrictions? Do they come with any, like we would issue some benefit, but we want to go back and test something? Is there any requirements?
There's a requirement. ARC grants, roughly, all the grant was up for $150,000. 66,000 of that was to go into the center director's salary. The rest of it is mainly for some computers and some mainly into marketing, additional marketing. And it's not just marketing that we're currently doing, it's doing outreach to a lot of these educational institutions that are working with some startup businesses. They'll all go to Albany. Probably 15 colleges that have entrepreneurial programs going on, and trying to get them to have their classrooms and instructions list about moving here and starting a business. The center director under the micro enterprise program, or under the innovation acceleration program, really is going to be working with the startup businesses, the entrepreneurs, for probably 3, maybe 4 weeks. And then each of those individuals will be paired off with either custom electronics or IOXs, and they will actually relocate from our offices into their businesses. And that was the original concept that ARC bought into. So it's not like there's flexibility in there to have them do additional work, because she'll be doing, or he will be doing, clock checks with custom electronics and IOXs to see how the individual entrepreneurs are doing. But it's not like it's
Was this person the marketing director or the center?
well,
The budget, we just got 2 new numbers, 110, 66. 44. 44,000 is what's in here. It's dedicated to the marketing.
Right.
And then, so there's another 66,000 that came from the grant that is,
I didn't include that in here, because I didn't want to, we have the flexibility of amending how we're going to spend some of it.
so back to my original question. There are no, if we spend 44,000 to hire this person, there's no restriction on what they can and cannot do for us
As long as it's related to bringing in businesses.
into the area, not, okay.
It's broad, pretty broad. It's pretty broad.
And this is a one-time grant,
That's correct.
okay. So I saw some emails going on around about timing. There was some concern about hiring the person before we know the innovation center was going to be.
No, I was already cleared that.
I missed that.
Cheryl had the most constructive email. I really appreciate her analysis and stuff. But
No dig on the rest of you guys.
It was pretty good. It was. See, where did it-
I didn't even see Cheryl's email.
I think it's
Yeah.
sent back to Jody directly.
Oh, okay.
Jay.
the ARC grant was applied for almost a year and a half. It was the original concept that we submitted with custom electronics responses to it, actually to the New York State Department of State, that had to give its blessing on it, and then it went to the application commission. After that occurred, Senator Schumer's office called and said, there's another grant out here for innovation centers to buy or construct a building. And so we put together a grant application to the USDA Rural Development under the RISE program to look at purchasing this building. There were two separate but related projects. The Innovation Center under ARC was always going to start in this office under one of our, on the trading room that we don't use.
Not tethered to an acquisition of the building. Okay. Could launch out of the space you already have.
Right.
Got it.
Then if we were able to receive this rural development grant, which we would probably expand the acceleration center into the, so the R4 worth. And that way we could accommodate more agencies as well. Because one of the other agencies that we're thinking about talking to bringing into our offices, in addition to the chamber, also the community foundation wants space. Right now, not that space, but we would love to have it.
One-stop shop.
Great.
I'm concerned if the person hired, to be clear what a successful year would be, and they know specifically what it is that they're supposed to accomplish by priority, and
Medicals.
go work real hard on all this stuff and see what happens. That, to me, that's not setting up for a clear victory and to be able to know what it is.
But that's Jody's job.
Right, well, but our
Clearly,
concerns are voiced here. Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
voicing a concern.
Right.
Just-
Right. The number one priority right now for this person is to get the Innovation Acceleration Center program launched. Because that's what's paying their salary.
All right. Any other questions regarding the budget, proposed budget for 2023?
I think we mentioned within the project that there's a potential repair at the old Soccer Hall fan building.
Mhm.
Is that, can you refresh my memory on that? And the question of within the lease, they are responsible for that, and we questioned that, but
Well, there was a split discussion with the projects committee. Some people said, it's our building, we should take care of it. Right. It's also, if you actually go through the lease, it's their responsibility to do repairs to the exterior. So what the project committee recommended was for us to look at two other proposals. We're having difficulty finding them because of other contractors proposed. So that's what we're,
we don't have a number. Can't put it in the budget without a number.
No other, that's a great point, though. No other CapEx expectations for any other properties we own, the soccer fields, the buildings that are there, the rental properties.
No.
All right.
And probably the county continually give us to.
Any other questions? Comments? Not, can I get a motion to approve the proposal 2023?
So moved.
Thank you, Tom. Second, Jeff. Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, budget passes.
Also,
go ahead.
in your budget, there's also a second budget that just puts it in perspective of the Paris reporting system. So that's all here, the state code. What the numbers are.
It's just a different format. All right, appointment for the auditing firm. Anything you want to say, Jody, or?
No, we just want to start the audit as quickly as possible. Every year we run into a problem that it becomes March 31st. Correct. That's why John, we get cited by the state control as not issuing Paris reports by that time, so we.
Okay. And this is the same audit company we've been using for how long now?
So we do have to change the partner every 5 years. Mary has been the partner for 5 years now. So Jason, I don't know if you know Jason, he usually comes in with her. He's actually going to run the audit this year.
Okay.
In the place.
All right.
So it will be a different partner.
All right. Any concerns? Motion to approve?
So,
Second. Thank you both. All in favor?
aye.
Any opposed? All right. RFP for the construction management services, Jody?
Yes, we included in the package, EDA has finally approved us to approve our construction management RFP request. Basically, we're saying that we expect when we go to construction, I don't know anything about this. So we wanted to hire a firm that's actually going to oversee the construction and make sure it's done properly. It's pretty much a part-time position, except for when they get into the trench work of burying stuff, then they have to be there daily on site to make sure that it's done. So there's actually two proposals. One is for the admin fee portion that they do. They have to do change order requests. They'll have to do shop lines, which are as opposed to the engineers. That's one fee of lump sum, and then the other is based on their anticipated finding of spend, which will be a time basis.
And this money's coming from where?
I'm sorry.
Where's this money coming from?
It'll be split between our agency, EDA funds, and then we're anticipating getting another $500,000 from the Appalachian Regional Commission. Because that's additional work we use that fund in our budget.
For this particular.
Official term.
Sure.
Any questions regarding the RFP? I don't think we need to approve that.
Next week. And start the process too.
All right.
Yeah, construction.
It'll probably take, it'll have to be advertised for a minimum of 30 days, or probably takes probably 60 days before.
Who's handling this for us?
I'm sorry.
Who's handling the distribution of RFP to the potential engineers?
We will.
We'll do it from this office. Okay.
Yeah, I've identified, I have a list of 10 engineering firms that we're going to send it to. We have to receive 3 proposals for EDA to accept.
It's so pretty small project.
We don't even, I don't think we need to vote on this. Doesn't require our approval.
Okay, good.
There you go. All right, thank you. And if you just go through the RFP, all of you, just an extra pair of eyes, any changes or anything to Megan and Jody, that'd be great. Last thing is the November, December board meeting schedule, Megan?
Yeah, I just bring this up every October because our board meeting always falls on Thanksgiving, November 24th. So the last 2 years.
Why is that a problem?
Well, we've canceled it the last 2 years, so it's technically not a problem, but we could, if we absolutely need to have a meeting, we could potentially move it to the 22nd, or we could combine it with committee meetings on the 10th. And then I also want to bring up the December meeting that falls on the 22nd, which I know is close to Christmas, so that, might cause a problem for quorum. There are 5 Thursdays in December though, so we could push the committee back to the 15th, which would push the board back to the 29th. I don't know if we could cancel 2 months in a row, so if there's stuff to be voted on.
You have a lot
especially
of, what are you proposing for the December board meeting?
December board meeting, we could push everything back. There's 5 Thursdays, so we could move the committee back to the 15th and we would move the board back to the 29th. I mean, if you guys have New Year's plans, that might cause an issue, but
Why don't we just do the board meeting the week prior to the 22nd?
Yeah, 15th.
well,
Do everything.
it would be a week after the committee, so.
Fine.
That's fine.
So you don't mind if you're coming
Yeah,
2
I
weeks back
think,
to
I think
back?
that week between Christmas and New Year's
Yeah,
could be
yeah.
problematic
That would
also.
be-
Okay, so you want to do the committee on the 8th, December 8th, and board on the 15th,
Right, and cancel the November meeting.
cancel November.
So we have one meeting in November. Is that the 10th?
The meeting in November will be on the 10th, yeah. So I guess if there's anything to vote on, we could hold a special board meeting on the 10th. I don't know if the construction, I don't doubt it.
All right,
So are there's
holiday dance.
no meetings in November? Or-
Oh, we will have the committee.
On the
on the 10th.
10th.
Yeah,
And you'll get new invites, right?
I'll send out the invites, yeah. I just wanted to run that past you.
Okay. All right, now we'll move into the public comment period. Anyone from the public?
Dan Sullivan is on. I did speak with Dan. I know he had some stuff you want to say. Hi, Dan.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, I apologize for my camera not working. I can't seem to figure out why it's not working, but I just wanted to inquire. I heard a few mentions of the Richfield Business Park, which sounded pretty encouraging. The fact that Keystone sent a bill, it means they must have done something. But I just wanted to inform the board that the village and town governments are more or less in the dark about the progress of the intermunicipal agreement to establish the extension of the water and the sewer line. I was wondering if I could get any information or updates about that.
Okay, I thought Larry was keeping you informed as to what was progress was going on.
Larry's actually in the room here with me, but he's working on some other things right now. Larry?
Well,
Larry's here. They said that you were keeping me up to date on the progress of the IMA.
The IMA, the last I knew, the lawyers were all talking, but none of the lawyers have contacted us. So I'm assuming that that your lawyers are in contact with the town lawyer, so they're the better ones to get a status from. I haven't heard anything from our town attorney.
Okay, well, our attorney is supposed to call me between 12 and 2 today, so I'll get an update from him on where they stand on the memorandum of agreement. My understanding was that everybody, all the attorneys had agreed to language and what had to be added to it. But I'll confirm that when I talk to him.
Okay, well, in that case, then we need, we need the attorneys to forward it to us. And if that's the case, we'll get a hold of our attorney and get working on that process. If we have the verbiage, then we can basically do what we need to do.
Okay. Regarding the construction, we just agreed to go out for proposals for a construction management firm to oversee the construction. So that should go out next week. In addition to that, our engineering firm has about 95% of the comments that EDA wants added to the construction document done. Hopefully they'll be done by next week and they'll send those back to EDA for final approval, and then we'll go out to bid probably in 2 weeks, start the process to bid construction. Everybody's in agreement that it's a good time of the year to actually go to bid with the spring construction start date.
Yeah, we are, we're town board wise, we're in the middle of our budget and everybody knows how much fun that is with the kind of stuff we're all dealing with. But we should have that budget done, I would think, on time for November. So that'll be a good time for us to pick up these IMAs and run that process.
Okay.
Now,
The third
Jody, are
thing,
you, now is the IDA gonna, that I understand, you guys are gonna basically take over as lead agency for the secret work and run all of that process once the town board can agree the IMA is sufficient?
say that again?
So to set the water sewer districts up, there's secret work to be done, there's public hearings to be had. And it's been a while since we've been this close, but I believe that you guys were going to take over as lead agency and run that process to get it through for us to vote on.
Again, I'll check with Joe Scott on that this afternoon. I assume that you're correct.
Okay.
The other documents that were approved, finally sent back to EDA was site control, engineering, and ownership. And originally, when we sent it in, they rejected it because part one has to be filled out by the engineer, part two has to be filled out by our attorney, and part three had to be filled out by, in this case, myself. They claim they sent it back to us because the first signature was dated after the second signature, which was dated after the third signature. They said that they wanted part one, part two, in consecutive order, which is like the most myopic thing I've ever heard of. So we had to redo that and send it back. But that's been received in the last week, and everybody's happy with it. So the last thing is,
But that's been addressed, right, Jody?
I'm sorry?
That's been addressed. That's just kind of a bureaucratic thing.
That's been addressed. The last thing is that in November, we're going to, EDA has requested that we requested a time extension. And we'll be doing in November for their submission.
Okay.
And actually that coincided nicely because we won't get approval from the ARC portion probably until January. So that we're counting on that extra $500,000 going into the budget to cover any overages for construction manager.
Okay. Okay, great.
Okay, so do you want to shoot us an email, Jody, when you talk to your attorneys this afternoon, where they think we are?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's great.
And then we can contact our attorney if they're of a belief that everything is ready for us to look at.
Sounds good. All right.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right, no, thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. All right, anybody else from the public? See any? I don't think there's any need for executive session, is there, Jody?
None.
Okay. If not, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right. That's all I need. Thank you very much. We'll now move into the OCCRC board meeting. Megan, will you do a roll call?
Jeff Joyner,
Here.
David Rowley.
Here.
Jeff Lord.
Here.
Craig Feldman, did Craig leave?
Yes.
Craig is absent. Tom Romeo.
Here.
Patricia Kennedy is absent. Cheryl Robinson is absent. Andrew Marietta.
Here.
And James Stewart.
Here.
All right, we have a form.
Thank you very much. We'll go right into the approval of the August 25th meeting. Any changes, comments, concerns? If not, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. Second, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We have the budget for 2023. Jody, any comments?
Really, the only comments is under the finance rents and financing income, there's $42,000 charges for services. Basically, those are our monies that we get from our bond annual fees. And we annually, if we go down to the expenditures, turn that back over to the IDA as part of our scale for the work. State control offices. That's really just a big change. We did put a little bit more money in for $5,000 as part of their income. That would go to using homes. It's just a place that we've never done. Yeah, but the big item is 42,900.
Make a motion to approve the budget.
All right. Can I get a second? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, it's done. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Thank you very much. Moving right into the ORYLDC board agenda. Well, can I assume that we have the same roll call from the previous meeting, or do we have to
We
actually
do.
go through it? All right. Thank you very much. No remarks. We have the minutes from our April 5th meeting. Any comments, questions, concerns? If not, can I get a motion to approve? Thank you. Second, all in favor? Thank you. New and unfinished business, we have the 2023 ORYLDC budget for approval. Any comments, Jody?
Again, it's just, our local development corporation really doesn't spend anything, budgeted $30,000 if potential money's coming from the CRC, but we don't really do that because we don't have any expenditures. We do have to submit a budget for the parish. It just doesn't make any sense, but.
Okay. Any comments, questions, concerns? If not, can I get a motion to approve?
So, sorry.
Second, Joe. Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Budget passes. Can I get a motion to adjourn? So moved. All right. Thank you very much, everyone.